You're about to listen to the most informative, persuasive, and inspiring show ever. The James A. Hendricks School of Leadership. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Psalm 33:12, I believe is where it is. It says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." And sadly, I think we have departed from that. Today, I'm devoting this episode. It's going to be called Joe Biden's Aftershock. And a lot of you are going to be wondering why. Look at what's happened since the election of 2020. And that election, I do not wish to go over. Okay? Have my feelings about it, but come on, guys, it's 2024. Time to move on. And I've been saying this the past 2 years. Now, yesterday I saw an ad. Joe Biden with Barack Obama. Perfectly choreographed. Where they had this commercial, for his campaign, Biden's campaign, saying, "We have to defend democracy." And then I hear on conservative news, we have to defend democracy. Listen, shame on both sides. Because you don't know your heritage. You don't know your history. I do know. I know what our founding fathers have clearly said. From Alexander Hamilton to Benjamin Franklin, James Madison. We are not a democracy. We are not to become a democracy. In my political theory class, and I'm going to keep, even though I respect and admire the professor for his sake, he's probably long since gone, God rest him, Dr. Abraham Mendelson. The first few weeks of class, when we were covering Plato's Republic, he said, we are not a democracy in the purest sense of the word. We're not to become that. He said, class, if you ever doubt it, look at what we're reading right now. Look at ancient Greece, because it melted from a republic to an empire, and ancient Greece is no more. And that struck with me. And then to hear historian David Barton. Let me tell you something, guys. I may not necessarily agree with everything that David Barton says, but this one thing, his research. And he took from sources like Jefferson, Madison, Hamilton, Franklin, that we're not a democracy. We're not to become a democracy. Now, you came here for a bit of news tidbits. And like I've said, if I have to cover the news, which sometimes, to be honest with you, I am a bit suspicious about it. But for your sake, I will. We do know that the Supreme Court is in hearing a consideration of the Colorado matter. We do know that. Here's another. Okay, we can just trying to find some decent stories here. Here's this one. Blinken, Israel, calls again for Palestinian state as nephew of Hezbollah leader killed. Listen to this.
The U.S. and Israel are at odds over the fate of Gaza after the war. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says Gaza should be led by Palestinians. Israel's government strongly disagrees.
Meanwhile, signs of a wider war are gaining ground. The recent killing of a high-ranking Hezbollah leader in Lebanon could mean that Israel is looking beyond Gaza. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
On Tuesday morning, Secretary Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The secretary on a diplomatic mission, meeting with leaders in the Middle East to discuss the war and the future of the region. Meeting with reporters before his arrival in Israel, Blinken outlined what he says they agree on about Gaza's future after the war. First, that Israel must have peace and security.
Second, that the West Bank and Gaza should be united under Palestinian-led governance.
I can't believe we're actually hearing this crap. Obviously, the Biden administration is taking its stance against Israel. I've never felt such disgust in my life. Folks, this is bad. This is bad. He's made a statement to Anthony Blinken, who I think is no different than Biden. It's not as Blinken. Being the puppet masters of idiocy, guys. This is Biden's AFTERSHOCK. Here's another. Back in session, Congress dealing with battles over British border security, aid to Ukraine, Israel. Listen to this.
Well, on Capitol Hill, a divided Congress is back to work and facing several big fights, including battles over the government funding, foreign aid, and immigration.
Striking a deal on border security and immigration policy has become central to passing more aid for Ukraine. CBN Washington correspondent Hillary Powell has been tracking the efforts. Hillary, what's the holdup?
Well, Senate negotiators are struggling to reach an agreement even after having worked on this for several months. They are really trying to work together while House Republicans are trying to interject their own hardline immigration demands. Congressional leaders secured a separate agreement on overall spending as they try to avoid a partial government shutdown. Now, the issue is leaders left out border policies, pushing some conservatives to use the prospect of a government shutdown to further their efforts on border reform. Portions of the United States southern border wall are so busy, street vendors sell migrants food. With the number of illegal crossings topping 10,000 several days last month, high-stakes talks on Capitol Hill center on the border. A small group of Senate negotiators are efforting a bipartisan bill to reduce the number of migrants who travel to the southern border to apply for asylum protections. Significant disagreements remain, possibly prolonging negotiations beyond this week. Senator James Lankford tells Fox News bargaining talks are long overdue.
Nothing's been done in this area for decades. As you know full well, the Biden administration has authorities they're choosing not to use. But even during the Trump administration, they struggled in certain years because they're limited in some of the authorities that are there. So there's a desperate need in the change in the way we handle asylum.
Negotiators have been...
Look. I just want to bark. Once again, shame on both parties. We have a border situation that needs to be dealt with. Okay? So let's deal with it. Why are we trying to combine all this crap in the budget? When Congress should learn to do like individuals and families are having to do, which is wisely budget their money. I know, for me, it's not necessarily always that easy, is it? We're not learning how to budget their deals. Now, a lot of conservatives are calling for, hey, stop funding this thing in Ukraine. You know what? Some of you guys are making me sick. These are real lives and real people and real issues. But yet we're using partisan semantics. It's election year, for Pete's sake. And Joe Biden is trying to ram an agenda down his throat. Biden, no doubt. Business interests in Ukraine. But there's Christians who have personal issues. Perhaps we know somebody that has family in the Ukraine. And then Israel, where are we in standing with it? We can agree to disagree in certain areas about this and be able to move on. Why should this be a budget package that has to hold up things? I hope that American voters see this and get sense. The James Hendrick School of Leadership. We move beyond the pundits and the talking heads that are set up by both parties. Because I think this is something that should be set up for real people. Real people. You think of, but Jimmy, why would you do this? Because it's important. Here's another case. U.S. Supreme Court to hear major abortion case after upholding Idaho's pro-life law. Once again, both sides, shame on y'all. This is not the America I've grown up to know and love. Why can't we keep abortion in the States? Are you saying to me that you support, that you want to? Are you saying that you would support abortion in any case? No, of course not. But listen to me. As a conservative federalist, I have to say this. How about the 9th and 10th Amendments of the Constitution? The enumerated powers? That's part of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights in which we're going to be covering beginning next week. Oof. I cannot wait for next week for Public Affairs Tuesdays and Thursdays, because we are going to be discussing the Constitution. Because why? Because we've forgotten the Constitution, where we stand. I don't know if the average American has truly read the Constitution and what it means. And I'm not talking about the codified law that has been since the Constitution, because the liberals and others want to make it a living, breathing document. If it's a breathing document, it's because God inspired it. Oof. I've said what's on my mind, and I stand on it. Let me tell you something. We as a country got to wake up. We got to wake up quick. This, what we see right here, the Joe Biden's aftershock, is why I will not say nationally what party I am. In Texas, that's obvious. Most Republicans in Texas, they stay clear in being in conservative principles that have set forth the wisdom ideology of the Bible, the scriptures, and the wisdom of the founding fathers. Okay? Now, I know I said I was going to ease you guys back into the news, but you know what? We're being thrust into it. But next week, let me tell you something. Oh, next week, we're going to be really thrust into it. Guys, we got to wake up. See things as they are. Let's grow. Let's do something about our lives. We have a chance. We have a chance to make it as a country. So my question to you is, why in the world? Why can't we just read the Constitution? Not just the interpretation of what some pundit or somebody in some ivory tower. Why can't the average man read the Constitution? Perhaps even the words of the founding fathers. Next week when I start my Public Affairs Tuesday, Thursday, the Constitutional Law class where we deal with the Bill of Rights, I'm going to recommend some readings for you, one of them being the Federalist Papers. That was something that I was advised to read when I was considering law school. I think anybody that's going to be going to law school needs to read the Federalist Papers, along with Plato's Republic. You say, but Jimmy, why? Guys, we can learn or two from the lessons of the past. I'm serious. You know, we've dealt with a lot of pain the past 4 years. And I've seen it. Guys, we gotta wake up. Please. For the sake of all those things that are holy and special to us, we have got to wake up. Our degenerate culture, you think it cares that we know what is just and true? Joe Biden's aftershock, if we do not stop it, is going to cause further cataclysmic consequences. Now, of course, later on, I guess next week, like on Saturday, I'm going to do a weekend edition on who I support in 2024 and why. Get ready, folks. We're talking about this. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. I hope you enjoyed listening. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the James A. Hendricks School of Leadership. Until next time, keep up your faith. Please keep up your faith. Please keep up your hope. I say this every time I need to self-soothe. Jesus saves and I'm okay. So therefore, I want you to put this down in your very soul. Jesus saves and we're all going to be okay. Take care and be proactively informed. And remember this, from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy loves you. I really, 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 really love you. God bless you and have a blessed day.